The heavy glass door opened to the quiet jewelry store. Maya adjusted the black garbage bag on her tired shoulder. She wore stained coveralls from working at the salvage yard. Her leather boots squeaked softly across the pristine marble floor. At 36 years old, she always ignored judgmental stares. Today, she wanted to buy a gift for her parents. The store smelled of fresh lilies and very expensive perfume. A woman in a dark suit blocked her path immediately. Her name tag identified her clearly as the store manager. Sylvia crossed her arms and glared at the garbage bag. She did not offer a warm smile or pleasant greeting. The absolute disgust on her face was impossible to miss. Maya stood still and looked directly into her cold eyes. A junior salesman watched them nervously from the back corner. His name was Leo, and he looked very uncomfortable today. Sylvia spoke in a sharp whisper designed to intimidate people. She pointed her manicured finger toward the busy front street. She told Maya that the recycling center was located elsewhere. Maya did not raise her voice or show any anger. She explained she was there to purchase a diamond necklace. Sylvia let out a harsh laugh that echoed very loudly. She told Maya to stop playing games and leave immediately. The manager assumed the heavy bag contained only dirty trash. She had no idea the bag held valuable copper scraps. Maya had just finished a massive commission for corporate clients. She was a professional sculptor who earned a huge income. But Sylvia only saw a dirty woman carrying actual garbage. Maya refused to back down from the incredibly rude manager. She tightened her grip on the thick plastic bag firmly. She calmly asked to see the necklace in the case. Sylvia shook her head and stepped closer to the exit. She threatened to call security if Maya refused to leave. Maya simply smiled and prepared to stand her ground completely. Maya reached into her pocket and pulled out her phone. She displayed a digital confirmation code to the angry manager. The screen proved she had booked an exclusive private viewing. Sylvia barely glanced at the glowing screen before looking away. She stated that anyone could easily fake a digital screenshot. The manager insisted her VIP client would arrive very soon. She claimed this special client was a famous local architect. Maya knew the famous architect was actually her own employer. She had been hired to design a massive metal centerpiece. The architect paid her $500,000 last week. Maya decided to keep this valuable information to herself now. She wanted to see how far Sylvia would actually go. Leo stepped forward and nervously checked the official store tablet. He quietly confirmed that the viewing appointment was completely valid. Sylvia glared at Leo and told him to stop talking. She accused him of being incompetent and ruining store standards. The manager turned back to Maya with a cruel smirk. She declared that the store could easily refuse any service. Sylvia grabbed the heavy plastic bag and tried pushing it. The bag barely moved because the copper pieces were heavy. Maya placed her hand over the bag to protect it. She told Sylvia to never touch her personal property again. Her voice remained incredibly calm but carried a sharp warning. Sylvia gasped dramatically and stepped back, pretending to be afraid. She loudly claimed that Maya was being hostile and aggressive. Leo watched the entire exchange and knew Sylvia was lying. He wanted to speak up, but feared losing his paycheck. Maya looked at the beautiful diamond necklace inside the case. She announced that she wanted to purchase it right now. Sylvia laughed again and crossed her arms over her chest. She said the necklace cost $45,000 today. She mocked Maya and asked if she collected enough cans. Maya did not blink or show any signs of embarrassment. Card Maya reached into her dirty overalls and found her wallet. It was an old leather pouch stained with dark grease. Sylvia watched this action with extreme judgment and pure disgust. The manager expected Maya to pull out crumpled dollar bills. Instead, Maya retrieved a heavy metal card made of titanium. It was a prestigious black card issued to elite clients. Maya placed the heavy card gently onto the glass counter. The card made a solid clicking sound against the glass. Sylvia stared at the black card in absolute total shock. For a moment, the cruel manager could not say anything. She recognized the exclusive card from training seminars years ago. Only individuals with massive bank accounts could obtain this card. Sylvia quickly recovered her composure and narrowed her angry eyes. She decided that Maya must have stolen this rare card. She refused to believe a dirty woman possessed such wealth. Sylvia reached out and snatched the metal card very aggressively. She held it up and inspected the name printed there. The name matched Maya, but Sylvia refused to accept reality. She loudly accused Maya of creating a sophisticated fake card. She claimed she would confiscate it and contact the authorities. Maya remained perfectly calm and simply asked to pay now. She politely told Sylvia to process the transaction without delay. Leo stepped closer and offered to handle the payment himself. He could see that the card was authentic and heavy. Sylvia pushed Leo away and told him to back off. She locked the cash register and refused to process anything. She told Maya that thieves did not belong in luxury. Maya realized that reasoning with this woman was completely impossible. She needed to take a different approach to resolve this. She did not yell or try to snatch the card. She simply pulled out her phone to make a call. Sylvia smiled triumphantly, thinking Maya was finally giving up today. She had no idea who Maya was about to call. Maya unlocked her phone and dialed a highly secure number. She called her private wealth manager at the National Bank. His name was Arthur, and he managed her massive accounts. Sylvia crossed her arms and watched the scene with amusement. She assumed Maya was pretending to call a fake friend. Arthur answered the phone after only 2 very short rings. Maya explained the current situation in a clear, firm voice. She stated that a store manager had confiscated her card. She provided the exact address of the luxury jewelry boutique. Arthur was absolutely furious to hear about this terrible treatment. He asked Maya if she wanted to involve the police. Maya said no, because she had a much better plan. She asked Arthur to verify her identity to the store. She also asked him to contact the brand corporate office. Maya knew the jewelry brand was owned by her client. She had been commissioned to build art for their headquarters. Arthur promised to resolve the situation in exactly 5 minutes. Maya ended the call and placed her phone away quietly. Sylvia laughed loudly and mocked the entire phone call performance. She told Maya that pretending to be rich was pathetic. She placed the black card inside her own jacket pocket. Maya warned Sylvia that stealing credit cards was a crime. Sylvia scoffed and said she was protecting the real owner. Leo watched in pure horror as his manager broke rules. He knew keeping a customer card was a fireable offense. He begged Sylvia to simply swipe the card and check. Sylvia yelled at Leo and threatened to fire him tomorrow. She told him he lacked the instincts for luxury sales. Maya stood silently and watched the manager dig her grave. She knew the consequences of this arrogance would be massive. The store phone began to ring loudly behind the counter. Sylvia smiled and walked over to answer the ringing phone. She assumed it was mall security calling to help her. Sylvia picked up the receiver with a perfectly rehearsed smile. She answered with her standard professional luxury boutique greeting line. The voice on the other end was cold and angry. It was the regional director of the entire jewelry brand. His name was Victor, and he sounded incredibly furious today. He demanded to know exactly what was happening right now. Sylvia was confused but maintained her confident and arrogant tone. She explained she had apprehended a dirty thief inside today. She proudly announced she had confiscated a stolen black card. Victor yelled through the phone so loudly that Leo heard. He told Sylvia she was making a massive career mistake. He explained that Maya was not a thief or vagrant. Maya was the premier artist hired by the global CEO. She was currently designing the sculpture for the corporate lobby. Victor ordered Sylvia to return the black card immediately now. He commanded her to process the necklace transaction without delay. Sylvia felt all the blood drain rapidly from her face. She looked over at Maya standing calmly by the door. Maya was still holding her dirty plastic bag of scraps. Sylvia stammered and tried to defend her terrible actions quickly. She argued that Maya looked entirely inappropriate for the store. Victor did not care about the appearance of the artist. He told Sylvia that extreme wealth rarely wears a uniform. He instructed her to apologize deeply and fix the situation. Victor warned that her job depended on fixing this instantly. Sylvia slowly placed the phone back onto the charging receiver. Her hands were shaking as she pulled out the card. She walked back to the glass counter looking very pale. Maya did not gloat or smile at the terrified manager. She simply waited for Sylvia to finally do her job. Leo watched the sudden shift in power with pure amazement. He realized Maya was someone extremely important and highly respected. Sylvia swallowed hard and tried to form a polite apology. Sylvia forced a completely fake smile onto her pale face. She placed the heavy metal card onto the glass counter. She offered a hollow apology that lacked any real sincerity. She claimed there had been a very simple misunderstanding today. Maya looked at the card and then looked at Sylvia. She did not accept the terrible apology from the manager. Maya stated that stealing a card was not a misunderstanding. She explained that judging customers based on appearance was pathetic. Sylvia tried to laugh and pretend everything was perfectly fine. She quickly reached for the keys to open the case. She wanted to process the massive sale and save face. The commission on a diamond necklace was very large indeed. Sylvia desperately needed that huge commission to pay her rent. Maya placed her hand firmly over the locked glass case. She told Sylvia she would not buy anything from her. Sylvia looked confused and reminded Maya about the beautiful necklace. She said Maya came here specifically to buy this piece. Maya agreed that she was definitely buying the diamond necklace, but she refused to let Sylvia earn a single penny. Maya turned her attention to the young junior salesman nearby. She asked Leo to step forward and process the transaction. Leo hesitated because he was terrified of his cruel boss. Sylvia glared at Leo and blocked him from the register. She told Maya that junior staff could not process VIPs. Maya pulled out her phone and prepared to call Victor. She asked Sylvia if the regional director agreed with this. Sylvia panicked and immediately stepped away from the cash register. She knew Victor would terminate her if she caused trouble. Leo slowly walked behind the counter to help the client. His hands trembled slightly as he unlocked the display case. He carefully removed the stunning diamond necklace from the velvet. Maya smiled warmly at Leo and thanked him for helping. Sylvia stood in the corner feeling absolute rage and humiliation. Leo gently placed the stunning necklace into a velvet box. He treated the beautiful jewelry with extreme care and respect. Maya handed him the heavy black card to swipe now. Leo processed the payment through the highly secure store system. The machine beeped, confirming the massive transaction was completely approved. A receipt printed showing exactly $45,000 paid. Leo handed the receipt in the velvet box to Maya. Maya thanked him and asked about his standard sales commission. Leo explained he earned a very small percentage of sales. Maya smiled and told him he just earned a bonus. The massive sale would double his entire salary this month. Sylvia watched this incredible exchange with pure jealousy and anger. She had just lost a massive paycheck because of arrogance. Maya placed the velvet box inside her dirty coverall pocket. She picked up her heavy plastic bag of copper scraps. She looked at Sylvia, who was boiling with silent rage. Maya told the manager that true value is never obvious. She explained that real wealth does not scream for attention. Sylvia rolled her eyes and crossed her arms very defensively. She still believed Maya was just a dirty, lucky artist. The manager refused to learn any lesson from this event. She believed she was still superior to the dirty sculptor. Maya realized some people would never change their terrible mindset. She decided she was entirely finished with this toxic woman. Maya turned toward the door to leave the quiet boutique. Just before she reached the exit, the store phone rang. Sylvia assumed it was a regular client calling for appointments. She walked over and answered the phone with fake sweetness. Leo watched Maya pause at the door to listen closely. The voice on the phone was incredibly loud and harsh. It was Victor calling back with some very bad news. He had reviewed the security footage of the entire incident. He saw Sylvia confiscate the card and mock the client. Victor yelled so loudly the entire quiet store could hear. He told Sylvia her behavior was a massive legal liability. Confiscating a client card without proof was an absolute crime. He stated that the brand could not tolerate such actions. Sylvia tried to cry and beg for her lucrative job. She claimed she was only protecting the prestigious store reputation. Victor laughed bitterly at her completely ridiculous and pathetic excuse. He pointed out that she had insulted their best partner. Maya was designing the lobby art for the global headquarters. The global CEO personally selected Maya for this massive project. Victor informed Sylvia that her employment was terminated right now. He ordered her to hand her store keys to Leo. Sylvia dropped the phone and began to sob very loudly. Her confident arrogance vanished and was replaced by pure panic. She looked at Leo and demanded he fix this mess. Leo stood tall and refused to help the cruel manager. He calmly asked Sylvia to hand over the store keys. Sylvia screamed that she deserved respect after 10 long years. Maya stood by the door and watched the drama unfold. She felt absolutely no pity for the cruel former manager. Sylvia had created this exact disaster with her own hands. She had judged a book completely by its dirty cover. Sylvia threw the heavy keys onto the pristine glass counter. They shattered the quiet atmosphere with a loud metallic crash. She grabbed her designer coat and stomped toward the exit. She glared at Maya with pure hatred as she passed. Maya did not flinch or move out of her way. She simply let the angry woman march into the street. The store became incredibly peaceful once Sylvia finally walked out. Leo let out a massive sigh of absolute pure relief. He looked at Maya and smiled with genuine deep gratitude. He thanked her for standing up to the terrible bully. Maya nodded and told him he would manage perfectly now. The store phone rang again almost immediately after Sylvia left. Leo answered it with a newly found sense of confidence. Victor was still on the line and sounding much calmer. He formally offered Leo the position of interim store manager. Leo accepted the amazing promotion with a very huge smile. He promised to treat every single customer with absolute respect. Maya listened to the happy conversation from the front door. She felt incredibly satisfied with how everything had worked out. She had secured the perfect gift for her loving parents. She had also helped a kind worker escape a bully. Maya adjusted the heavy bag of copper on her shoulder. The valuable scrap metal felt much lighter to carry now. She stepped out of the store into the busy avenue. The afternoon sun warmed her face and her stained coveralls. She walked toward her truck parked 3 short blocks away. People on the street still stared at her dirty clothes. They saw a poor woman carrying a bag of garbage. Maya smiled because she knew the amazing truth about herself. She possessed immense wealth and incredible talent in her hands. She did not need expensive suits to prove her worth. She drove back to her large studio in the city. Her workspace was filled with beautiful art and heavy tools. She unpacked the copper pieces and began her creative work. The jewelry brand logo was taking shape on her table. She welded the metal with extreme precision and deep focus. The piece would be installed in the corporate lobby tomorrow. Maya imagined Sylvia visiting the lobby and seeing the art. The former manager would realize the massive mistake she made. Maya laughed softly and continued working until the sun set. She felt powerful because she defined her own personal value. No rude salesperson could ever take that absolute confidence away. She locked her studio and drove to see her parents. It was time to celebrate their long marriage with diamonds. Maya arrived at her parents' quiet home in the suburbs. The small house was completely filled with love and warmth. Her mother opened the front door and hugged her tightly. She did not care about the dirt on the coveralls. Her father smiled and poured 3 glasses of red wine. They sat together around the old wooden kitchen dining table. Maya placed the velvet box on the table very gently. Her parents looked at the beautiful box with absolute surprise. Her mother carefully opened the lid and gasped very loudly. The stunning diamond necklace sparkled brilliantly under the kitchen lights. Her mother cried softly and said it was too expensive. Maya smiled and told them they deserved the absolute best. She explained that hard work had finally paid off completely. She did not mention the terrible manager at the store. That ugly incident did not belong in this beautiful moment. Maya helped her mother put the diamond necklace on slowly. It looked absolutely perfect against her simple blue cotton dress. Maya felt a deep sense of pride filling her heart. She had earned this success through years of dirty work. She built a massive empire from discarded metal and scrap. The next morning, Maya attended the massive corporate lobby reveal. She wore a stunning black dress and expensive leather heels. She looked absolutely powerful, standing next to her copper sculpture. The global CEO shook her hand and praised her talent. Leo was invited to the event as the new manager. He smiled widely and thanked Maya for changing his life. Sylvia was completely gone and rapidly forgotten by the company. Maya realized that true luxury is simply knowing your worth. She never let anyone define her based on outer appearances. She walked out of the bright lobby with head high. She was ready to build another incredible masterpiece from scrap. She proved that treasures are often hidden inside trash bags. Maya lived her successful life on her own brilliant terms.